All right, guys, let's get real. I've watched way too many guys blow their hard-earned cash on supplements that they absolutely do not need. You've got enough problems. Your bank account shouldn't be one of them. So today I'm going to break down the only 7 supplements that you actually need, backed by science, not bro science. So if you're sick of playing supplement roulette, this video will save you time, money, and your sanity. And how do I know? Well, I've spent the last 20 years geeking out over health optimization. From special operations to the ER, I've seen my patients, my teammates, and my own guinea pig of a body. I've tested hundreds of supplements and wasted thousands of dollars so that you don't have to. You're welcome. So here's how we're going to break this down. I'll hit you with the core supplements that every guy needs. I'll explain why they matter and how much to take, and I'll tell you where to get them so that you're not overpaying for something that smells like gym socks. By the end, you'll know exactly what is legit and what is overpriced nonsense. Let's do this. But before we start, let me be very clear on one thing. You technically do not need any supplements unless your diet is deficient in that nutrient. The problem is that due to our modern crappy food system, you are almost certainly deficient in some areas. So without further ado, let's get into it. Number 1, protein powder. So what is it? Protein powder is the MVP of muscle repair and growth. It's protein in powdered form. So why do we need it? Well, that's if you can't hit your protein goals with food alone. This is basically your shortcut. The British Journal of Sports Medicine says that 0.7 to 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight builds muscle best. So there it is. There's a lot of controversy over this, over how much exactly that you need. It used to be that 1 gram per kilo of body weight was sufficient. That gives you around 75 for the average guy. That seems to have trended up over the years, mainly with the explosion of bodybuilding, and may have something to do with testosterone supplementation, but most studies will show that around 0.8 grams per pound of body weight is about what you need, and it's about the maximum that your body can actually hold onto without pissing it out. So I would say about 20 to 40 grams post-workout is key. So whey protein is like the luxury car of protein powders. You'll also see things like casein protein. The protein powder I like to use is from Dymatize, ISO 100. I really like this flavor. They have some other good flavors as well. There we go. I think this stuff tastes really good. A lot of the other stuff tends to hurt my stomach. I really like this one. I have no affiliation with them. It's just one that I've found over the years that works pretty well for me. You can usually find it, pretty good deals on it on Amazon, and I'll put a link down below. They have some really good flavors. The Cocoa Pebbles and the Fruity Pebbles are really good, so give that one a try. Moving on to the next. So next we have this bad boy, creatine monohydrate. This is like the OG of strength and power. Think of it as like rocket fuel for your muscles. So why do we need it? Well, more strength, more gains, plus potential brain benefits, because who doesn't want to feel like a genius at the gym, right? No, it's actually shown to massively boost strength. And basically the way it works is it's kind of the powerhouse of your mitochondria inside of your cells. It will also cause you to retain water excessively, so you'll kind of have a more full look whenever you're using it. Just be careful. If you are dehydrated, it can actually cause a little bit more towards kidney damage. So make sure you're staying really well hydrated if you're going to take it. A study in the Journal of International Society of Sports Nutrition basically calls it the GOAT of muscle building supplements. So for dosage, 5 grams daily, that's about a teaspoon. Pair it with any carbs for an extra kick. So I like to mix it with any type of juice. You only need a really small amount, so you're not getting all the extra sugar. But when you add it to a little bit of carbohydrates or sugar, it helps shuttle it into the muscles quicker. Now, there used to be some claims that you needed to load with about 20 grams for a first day or two. That's been kind of disproven. So you can just start at 5 grams and do 5 grams daily. All right, on to the next one. So number 3 is vitamin D. And this is actually not vitamin D, it's just a pill bottle. And that's because I don't actually have any vitamin D with me. And the reason for that is because I live in the Sunshine State of Florida. Now, I recently had my vitamin D levels tested, and even living in Florida, I tested at the low end of normal for vitamin D. But why do we need vitamin D? Well, that's because you're probably deficient. Unless you live in Florida, Texas, or Southern California, or somewhere else in the world that has a lot of sun and you spend a lot of your days outdoors, you're probably deficient. Most men are. Low vitamin D basically equals low testosterone, which is no bueno. A study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition proved that it boosts testosterone in testosterone deficient men. And as most of you are running around at too low vitamin D levels, you do need to supplement. What you need is about 2,000 to 5,000 international units daily, and take it with food that has fat, because science. Vitamin D is what we call a fat-soluble vitamin, and it is essential in the production of testosterone. So if you want to up your testosterone naturally, vitamin D is a huge player in it. So make sure that your levels are where they need to be. And the next one. Next, we're talking about magnesium. Now, magnesium comes in multiple different forms. This is magnesium L-threonate, which is the one that I actually recommend the most. But basically what it is a chill pill mineral. And what you need it for is it helps with muscle recovery, stress reduction, and sleep. You can use it for a whole lot of things. It's used in every cell in your body for a variety of reasons, which we don't need to go into, but basically you need this for every single function of your body. Biological trace elements research found that it boosts testosterone and performance. You can also take it at night as kind of like a chill pill to help you sleep. And for anyone who suffers from anxiety, it can also help calm you down a little bit. And it also helps with blood pressure. We use magnesium in the emergency department for all kinds of different ailments, and you can use it at home as well. Just be careful, because if you take too much of it, it can actually give you diarrhea. So the dosage that you need to take is around 200 to 400 milligrams, and taking it before bed or in the evenings is a good time to take it. Magnesium threonate is great because it crosses the blood-brain barrier and it has a little effect on the gut. So unless you want to go for magnesium citrate, which is what we use to prep people for colonoscopies, I suggest that you go with this one. Next, we're going to be talking about omega-3 fatty acids. Now, this isn't actually the brand that I take anymore. The brand that I take is from Thorne. I like a lot of Thorne's products. I think that they're doing a really great job with their testing and the quality of their supplements. This is actually one that I used to take. I don't actually have anything against them. I just kind of switched over to Thorne. I also don't have any affiliation with them at this time either. However, what is omega-3s and why do we need it? Well, it's an anti-inflammatory superhero of a supplement. And why we need it is heart health, joint support, brain function. It's kind of a Swiss Army knife of health in general. And because most men in the United States and across the world die of heart disease, it is really something good that you should begin taking. A JAMA meta-analysis says that omega-3s lower heart disease risk, and JAMA is basically like the gold standard scientific journal. So the dosage that you need is about 1 to 3 grams daily of EPA or DHA. So look for fish oil that doesn't taste like regret, because a lot of fish oil tastes really bad. You can get what are called the fish burps. So make sure that you find one that doesn't cause this issue. Moving on. So next we're talking about multivitamins. So these are basically like nutritional insurance, because nowadays our diets are much less perfect than we actually think they are. In fact, the nutritional content of food has dropped dramatically over the past 100 years. And this is due to excessive farming and pesticides and growth hormones that we pour into foods, which make them less nutritious, but that's a topic for a different day. A study in Nutrients Journal review shows that multivitamins basically fill gaps and they boost immunity. So the dosage is basically what it says on the bottles. It's usually 1 serving daily with food. Something you can run into, that I run into myself sometimes, is they have such a high vitamin A content that it tends to upset your stomach a bit. So taking it with food can help. I find that when I take it in the morning without food, it really kind of tears my stomach up. So take it with food, or find one with a lower vitamin A content. That can help if you do get upset stomach from it. And last but certainly not least, I want to talk about these little drops of love that we like to call caffeine. Now, what is caffeine? Well, it's basically liquid motivation and starts half of the world every single day. And why do we need it? Well, it increases endurance, strength, and the likelihood that you'll actually show up at the gym. A study in sports medicine shows that it improves performance by reducing perceived effort. Now, that's key. It doesn't actually reduce the effort of the exercise you're doing, but it makes you feel like you have to exert less effort to do that exercise. That's why the main ingredient in so many pre-workout supplements is actually caffeine. So instead of ingesting that sugary or aspartame-laden powder substance, just have a cup of coffee. A dosage of about 200 to 400 milligrams pre-workout will get you pretty well hyped up. Now, if you're a little sensitive to caffeine, like I tend to be, I would suggest that maybe just 1 or 2 shots of espresso, that's about 80, 100 milligrams of caffeine, will do just fine. But don't be the guy drinking it at 9 p.m. Nobody likes a jittery zombie at night. So that's it. Next week, I'm going to be diving into natural testosterone optimization. So hit the subscribe and the bell to make sure you don't miss it. And yes, I'll do a video on TRT and anabolic steroids for all the curious minds and questions that I get about it. Link to the supplements and free guide are in the description. At the time of this filming, I have no sponsorship. I'm not affiliated with any of these. These are just supplements that I actually use. So I'm just sharing what works for me. And if you got a supplement question, drop it in the comments and I'll personally respond to it. Catch you next time.